What up? What up? What it do, boys? What it do? Okay. So yeah, we kind of early today. We kind of early today cuz I'm going to be gone this evening. So I won't be able to do a late night stream this evening. Hence the early stream. We got to keep the streak going. So shout out to everybody tuning in. I don't even see how many people are watching right now, but just do me the solid. Run up the likes on the stream now. If you're new to the stream, subscribe. And that's about it. That's about it. I guess this can be a little test, you know, how you guys like the early day streams on a Sunday. Yeah, we'll get into some of these topics real quick. I'll be live for probably about like an hour and some change, but not too much change, if that makes sense. Okay, give me just a couple more seconds here. Shout out Jew being first in the chat, homie. Of course, YouTube on my TV is going to be malfunctioning at this moment in time when I don't need it to. Anyway, let me just say a couple things. We got one of the lights out right now, but the color looks pretty good. Maybe it's been overexposed this whole time and I had no clue. Anyway, let me read some of these chats off. Jew says, yo, what up, homie? Saxby says, nice early stream. Shout out Saxby. All the way from Sweden. What's up, champ? Great stream last night, says Max Energy. Thank you, homie. Thank you very much. Glad to see you in here for the second day in a row. I got some takes. Let me just eat a couple fruit snacks. And we'll be good to go. Get caught up with chat with some fruit snacks. I thought for what would happen next. Islam versus Gary in August. Islam versus Ilya in December. And Islam retires after 2 wins. Damn. You might have a point, Saxby. You might have a point. I'm not even going to lie to you, Saxby. You might have a damn fucking point. Maybe if I had more time to consider my take today, I would have came to that conclusion. I forgot about Ilya and Islam. But you know what? You know what? Sorry, high choose was a terrible idea. That's my bad. That was a terrible idea. So speaking to what Saxby's saying, I mean, I get it, and there's definitely some merit to that claim. But just if you look at the fight game historically, right, the biggest fights take a long time to make. I wouldn't be surprised if Ilya and Islam continue to play just a little bit of games, right, after their wins in a couple months here. Now, keep in mind, Ilya is going to be fighting in June. Islam likely August, right? That's what they're saying, August. The month after International Fight Week. So, 2 months apart. It's not really too far apart. They could easily run it next because they'll be on the same timeline. But I just personally think that, when you're talking about the biggest fights to make, think about this for an example. Mayweather-Pacquiao. Took a long time to get that shit done. A very long time to get that shit done. Wait, what is going on here? Why is, let me figure out what the hell is going on here. Okay, here's the one I wanted. Okay. So yeah, Mayweather-Pacquiao, it took a long time to get done. So Ilya versus Islam is on the lines of a big ass fight like that. It might take a long time to get done. I could see them maybe running it, mid 2027, meaning both of them have fights next, before we start throwing things around. And keep in mind what's been happening. We've been moving around all these puzzle pieces to make these fights happen. And then, in a way, it kind of like bites us in the ass every time. Putting Gaethje up there against Patty, then Patty loses to Gaethje. Right now we're stuck with Gaethje versus Ilya, but the only reason why that happened in the first place was because we were banking on Patty beating Gaethje, and we didn't necessarily want Patty to lose to Arman, right? Because we wanted to set up the Patty versus Ilya fight. But now with the power of hindsight, it's like, damn, bro, we really should have did Arman versus Patty because, regardless of who lost that one, it was a big fight against Ilya, right? But now Gaethje, it ain't a big fight against Ilya. So I think that we should, not rush these things. If these guys are so good, so pound for pound number 1 and number 2, then maybe go ahead and beat your next opponent, your next title challenger too, because both these guys moved up. Both these guys shuffled a lot of things around, right? And so maybe they owe 2 more title defenses. The one's coming up and then 1 more after that, right? They got big fights. Now, maybe Islam chooses to sit out and not fight Prates. Honestly, that might just be the case. If I'm just being real, that might be the case. He might just sit out and bypass Prates, wait for Ilya. But Ilya with the Arman fight, that's pretty big. I think he should probably run that one before we move up again. I'm just saying. Trying to get caught up on some chats. So Castro accidentally slept through UFC Perth because I read the schedule wrong. Oh, no worries, Dylan. It was a solid ass fight though, bro. I'm pretty hyped. Just so you guys know too, like last night or yesterday altogether, Prates versus JDM in the main event, UFC Perth delivers. We got Inoue versus Nakatani, undefeated versus undefeated. We got Prates, or no, sorry, not Prates. We got Benavidez versus Zurdo, undefeated Benavidez, surging Benavidez versus, big ol' Zurdo. Only got 1 loss, Zurdo. This is the stuff I like. And then this week we got Strickland versus Hamzat. We got Van versus Tyra. We got Buckley versus Brady. I mean, now we're finally cooking. We finally cooking, boys. We finally cooking. It's been a hot minute, though. It's been a hot minute. These last 2 weeks, I felt like 2 fucking months, bro. So we're going to work our way through this Prates topic, but it's like, shit, man. The more I think about it, I do feel like Prates versus Morales might have to happen first. The only issue I have with that is like, bro, Morales ain't really like on the same level as Prates win streaks and shit like that. Like his level of competition is so much less than Prates. If you call like these fake boxing champions email champions, so to speak, then that's what, Sean Brady was when Michael Morales beat him, just like a email number 1 contender, just like a fake ass number 1 contender. Brady was never no number 1 contender. Whoever Leon was supposed to fight in that bout fell out due to injury or something, and they had made Sean Brady step up last minute because of Sean Brady's lack of activity, just point blank period, and just lack of stepping up point blank period, from the past, in like recent past. I don't want to go over it again, but like, the previous December and shit like that, the UFC needed him. He didn't step up for nothing. Then you fast forward to like January, February when he fought Leon last year. And it's like, well, dude, you didn't step up. We had to use our other guys, burn out the bench, right? Gary, Colby, Joaquin, Shavkat, we burnt out the bench. We need you to step up now, man. There's nobody else to step up. And Brady did. Brady beat Leon. And then he becomes number one contender. But in all my years, you know, beating fucking Gilbert Burns and Leon Edwards makes you number one contender. Nah, bro, nah. You know, Carlos Prates, a guy who's fought, you know, dropped all of his opponents, number one. Number two, right? Knocks out Leon. Knocks out former champion JDM. Michael Morales, you know, yes, Sean Brady finished Leon, and then Michael Morales finished Sean Brady, but it's not the same, you know, it's not the same illustriousness as finishing a former champion. It's just not. You know, you can call it politics, and it is a little bit of politics, but it's just not. You know, put it on paper. How many former champions has Michael Morales beat? You know, none. How many former champions has Carlos Prates beat? 2. You know? So I like Prates a lot, and it, you know, I don't really want him to have to fight Morales because of his level of competition compared to Morales, but at the same time, you know, he might just have to. He might just have to because of the super fight that's looming. But just tough because I want Ilya versus Arman now. I do want that one. And I think the UFC is probably going to make it happen. And if Prates is easy money for Islam, why not just rack up title defenses? Build up your star power. You guys both get through your next opponents. You guys run it. Mid-2027. About this time in 2027, they run it. So yeah, I mean, Prates, he BTA'd a JDM though. So these are just some of the screenshots. Leg kicks, you know the deal. Knees, it was nasty. It was nasty. We all seen it though, so I don't want to go over it, you know, like crazy. But the other thing I want to kind of like discuss a little bit, you know, we talked about Inoue. The one thing I do want to say is Inoue needs to come over to America, you know, and start fighting some American champions at super bantamweight. Whoever the champions are at super bantamweight, Inoue should be fighting him. I'm kind of backed up on the chat, so let me just kind of get caught up. Prates versus Morales, January vacant for the vacant belt. Prates wins. Like up, boys. I'm gonna start commentating on the playbacks too, so you know I'm in the loop. Okay, Max Energy. Yeah, that's perfect. I think more of you guys should drop comments in the playbacks. I see some of you guys doing it, and I always appreciate it. Prates and Morales need to fight for an interim belt, says Dylan. We'll see. We'll see. Depends how long Islam's going to end up being out for. Make a video about Islam retires after 2 wins. Take it, brother. You'll be first friends. Support each other with ideas. Every YouTube get idea from the chat. Saxby says, make a video about Islam retires after 2 wins. Take it, brother. Okay, I got an idea actually, Saxby. Because of what you just said, I got a little bit of an idea of a title. And I don't really want to reveal it, but I guess maybe I can. Something along the lines of like, you know, the fairy tale ending for Islam Makhachev. But honestly, Saxby, I say 3 more. I say 3 more fights for Islam and he retires. Maybe it's too much. But it's like Islam versus Ian. Islam versus Prates. Islam versus Ilya. Big up, bro. Shout out to Tribal. Early 1W. Shout out to Soda Pop. What up, homie? Honestly, Islam is the biggest star in the UFC. It's their last big name. Dagestani. Khabib is pushing Islam to retire. UFC will give them the money to get Islam one last fight versus Ilya. It won't take time because Islam will not fight more than twice, and UFC knows it. And if Islam comes out and says he retires them, Dagestani can't take back their word. Islam is pushing 34-35. He does not care who he fights. He only has 2 more left. Okay, Saxby, you're probably right. You're probably right. He probably does only have 2 more left, even though I want him to have 3. It's better for Prates to avoid Islam, honestly. He will become our new Chama. Okay. I'm starting to work this out in my head a little bit. JDM lost so Buck can win. They sacrificed my other boy for Buck. Yeah, you know, if we got to sacrifice JDM, we got to sacrifice him. Joaquin got a title to win. I don't think they will make the same mistake they did with Habib. Islam is almost 30-1. Max Energy says, I have a pretty decent Instagram following. A few fighters follow me. Would you mind if I referred them to you for interviews? I just followed you, fell off in my field, but I still have connections. Yes, Max, but I will just say this, homie. I'm not really interested in interviewing just like fighters. You know what I mean? If somebody has a story, if somebody's really good, I'll spend my time. But it's like, I don't just like to spam interviews. There was a time for me to do that, but now, I want the interviews to be like somewhat of historical importance. So, no offense to anybody, but it's like if I only want to interview somebody who's going to be somebody one day, because, so many of these interviews go down and then it's like never going to be nobody. And it could be, my standards are a bit high, but it's just like, I don't want to waste an hour and a half of my time and putting all this in my schedule for 20 views, So if there's somebody who's actually good, who knows the game, then yeah. But a lot of people ask me like, yo, can you interview my guy? He just won on this regional show. And it's like, not really, not really. I'm not really interested, no offense, but it's just like, hopefully you guys get what I'm saying. So yes, Max Energy, you can refer some people over to me, but, with everything I said in consideration as well. No, save Prates versus Morales for vacant in January. Then Prates will be a champion long time. Saxby, okay. I'm following what you're saying. And I do think that you got the superior fucking take. So, take that with you. You got the superior take. It can't be denied. Are you saying something along the lines of like Ilya and Islam, they run their fights right now, right? In June and August. Then in December, they run the super fight. Islam retires. Granted, Islam wins. Islam retires. Then in January, Michael and Prates fight for the vacant belt. That's what you're kind of saying? It's not the worst thing in the world, but Michael will be out for a full calendar year. I guess it's still not the worst thing in the world. But Michael will be out for a full calendar year. Prates will be out for 8 months. I'm sure he'd be fine with it. He said that at the post-fight press conference. Totally fine with it. He wants to heal up and shit like that. Max Energy says, I'm talking about UFC fighters, people like Aljo. Bro, perfect. I've actually been trying to get an interview with Aljo. I reached out after the win, but he didn't hit me back. So, I mean, we on the same page. Aljo's perfect. Right up my alley. A lot of people hate Aljo. Don't know why. If UFC does Arman versus Ilya, we will never see Islam versus Ilya. Remember this, Islam has more to lose. Continue fighting. Yes, he does. I know. And I am doubtful that he'll fight Carlos, Well, let him retire. Fuck him. That's what Juice says. Now, I feel that too. It's like, bro, these princess ass motherfuckers. You're lucky. But it's like, you're lucky. You're lucky, motherfuckers, because you're lucky we got this fight that we want between Islam and Ilya. And it would easily trump Islam versus Prates. Come on now. So it's like, while I do understand the sentiment of let him retire, fuck him, it's like, you're lucky you got me by the balls, homie. You're lucky you got me by the balls with this Ilya fight. Because if you didn't, I'd be like, let him retire. Fuck him. Stop wasting our time. I think Islam trying to weasel a Usman win before he retires. Now, that would just be criminal. I don't want that Usman fight, bro. And Jew, you are kind of right. He might be trying to weasel an Usman win. For the fucking, for the stat padding and shit. The streets early. Yeah, we early, Tony M. Shout out, homie. Good to see you in here. Max Energy says Jeff Neal as well, and then others. I just have open DMs with them, so would see what I say. Okay. Aljo's over criticized. Nah, he is over criticized. And dude, me and Aljo could speak about that whole black topic and shit like that, like the black community not claiming him. We could talk about the win. You know, we could talk about a lot of things. Thanks for the confirmation, bro. I'm gonna go do the work behind the scenes and see what I can conjure. Thanks for the interactions. Genuine as fuck. I got you, homie. And you know, this is what I like from the chat too. You know, Saxby giving me video suggestions. Max, you know, putting in some work, trying to get me interviews and shit. So I like that. You know, I appreciate it from you guys. More input for the channel, the better. You know, I take all the input. Like I said too, I have new emojis dropping for the members soon, so just bear with me. You know, today's a busy day. I can't really get to it. That's why we're streaming early. Oh yeah, yeah, and you guys are wondering if anyone's asking. Yeah, so wait, catch me up. Is Islam and Topuria happening at 170 for sure? Ask Franklin. Islam and Ilya will not happen at 55 if it happens, Franklin. Is Islam and Ilya happening for sure? We don't know. You know, we don't know. I imagine they're both beating their opponents, but negotiations have to take place. You know, and will the UFC be willing to pay? Will Islam be willing to risk it against Ilya? Or will Islam be trying to weasel out a retirement win against Usman? We don't know. We don't know. But it's dishonorable as fuck to try to squeeze out that win against Usman and retire. You know, if Islam's going to duck Ilya, then fuck him. Point blank, period. So no, Islam versus Ilya is not for sure. Topuria would take it in a heartbeat. Islam might be up to some bullshit if it gets offered. It would never happen at 55 though. So if it happens, it would be at 170. And then you say, no, you called Aljo. So did I. Pretty dope. Yeah, Aljo pretty dope. Aljo's chill, bro. Aljo's chill. There's nothing wrong with him. A lot of people hate on him. Going back to the Peter Yan fight, it's like, relax. You know, like I said from fucking South Park. Relax, guy. Relax. It's not that serious. Tony says, what happened with yesterday? Did your neighbor get you? Drew says, neighbor barely turned the Wi-Fi back on right now. He was beating gut all night to get it back on. Oh my God, Drew, that's insane. Nah, bro, I fucking forgot to pay my internet. I forgot to pay my internet and it went down. So I had to pay to get that shit back up. Shout out to Jew. I did see some of your guys' chats though. I couldn't even turn off the stream. My internet straight went down and I saw the stream was live for like a hot minute afterwards. But I couldn't do anything. I had to eventually go on YouTube and like shut it off. But yeah, there was nothing I could do. My internet went down, bro. It was perfect timing though. It was perfect timing. Right after that bitch freaked out, my internet goes down. No, that's what it was. I forgot to pay it. 10 p.m. on the dot, bro. They turned that shit off. I bet Aljo versus Evloev. Guess lost. Yeah, Aljo lost to Evloev. Saspy says, no, I don't have the better take. Just thought about this idea while you in-screen multitasking and brave enough to do what we all dream of, brother. Keep it up. Shout out to Saxby, my man. Homie, you got the better take. It's okay. It's okay. You're a part of the, you know, our takes are one, Saxby. We are one, so it's okay. You could have the better take, homie, but thank you. I mean, 170 for sure if it happens. Yup. Arman can fight for vacant belt when Ilya moves up. UFC takes the first belt. It's one for everyone. Nah, yeah. I kind of agree. But, you know, I guess it sucks. We are not going to get the Ilya versus Arman fight, but I guess that's just okay. You know, I guess that's okay. I just hope that, like, in hindsight, Ilya doesn't move up to fight Islam, the fight we all really want, right? Islam runs through Ilya, and it's barely a fight. And then we're like, damn, bro. Again, we're like, we overlooked this fight for this fight. What are we thinking? But I mean, I think Ilya is good enough to compete with Islam. But the big question mark isn't, is Ilya good enough to compete with Islam? It's, is Ilya good enough to compete with Islam at 170? Now, Ilya, he a thick boy, so probably, but I don't know. I don't know. These are good conversations to have, and it's a super, like, in-depth one. But I do like it. I do like it. Let's go over the take one more time, right? This is kind of the superior take for now. Shout out to Saxby. It's Ilya versus Gaethje, UFC White House in June. Islam versus Gary, title fight in August. Ilya and Islam get past their opponents. They run it in December. Okay. Islam, in theory, beats Ilya at 170, retires January, Morales versus Prates for the vacant title. Also, Arman Sarukian, right, gets to fight for either the vacant title or let me spice it up a little bit. The UFC breaks their little golden rule they just created last year. They don't make Ilya vacate, all right? Ilya loses to Islam. He's still champion at 55. We run it with Arman at 55 in January, or not January, but whatever. You know what I mean? Because if Ilya loses to Islam in December, then it's Ilya versus Arman in like March, April. No Ramadan. These boys both Christian. No Ramadan. Unlike Islam. So I think that's really the superior take. So technically, Carlos Prates is next because his next fight will be a title fight, right? Carlos Prates' next fight will be a title fight. But he may not be the next welterweight title fight after Islam versus Gary. Does that make sense? But Prates' next fight will be a title fight. And to be honest, when I made the thumbnail, that was the intention of it. Is like, I believe Carlos Prates doesn't need a fight anymore. His next fight should be for the title. Right? Regardless of anything, I believe Prates' next fight should be for the title. And while I didn't exactly foresee it being this way, I agree. I agree. Tony says, did you talk about Wing C already? I think he a cornball and the fighters and refs should have jumped his ass once he stepped in the pit trying to troll. Talking about pit, did you see Cub Swanson gym? There he set up mats in an indoor pool. Looks sick. Oh no, I did see Cub Swanson's got a gym in OC. Maybe I should pull up there. Yeah, Cub Swanson got a gym in OC. It does look sick, to be honest. And Cub Swanson's a real one, so that's probably going to be the best MMA gym in OC, where like regular people can come in off the street and actually become good fighters. Because obviously you got Santos Studios, but I can't go in there necessarily. I might be able to actually, because I got an Instagram and I stream and shit, but the average person can't. Arman fight for the vacant title, so we don't need to wait for Ilya to be back. Okay. Or interim, Saxby. Or interim. If the UFC lets Ilya keep the belt. I know we're kind of like getting real specific about this shit and it's going to get complicated, but I'm just saying, I'm not opposed to Ilya getting to keep the belt at 55 like Volk did when he moved up to challenge Islam. Same thing. That's what I'm imagining. Same thing, right? Then Volk came back down to 55 and he fought Ilya and lost to Ilya. But I'd be okay with, Arman and whoever running it for a interim title fight. Or vacant, if it has to be vacant, and we could still wait for Ilya. Either way, Ilya come back down to 55 after the Islam fight. We'll all be happy. This What a Stream could be cooking up. Great video and theories. 100%, Saxby, 100%. Be first throughout a couple, and some will stick. Yeah. That's the benefit of streaming every day, is that like we're super current. We're super current. I know you guys want to talk about Wing C and shit, so we can. It's a big story. MLE says, where are you squeezing Morales into all these? Morales will be fighting Prates for the vacant title in January. MLE. At the same time, Morales is going to be out for a full year, so does he want to fight again? If he wants to, he can, but I don't want him to fight Prates. I think Prates' next fight should be for a title. Sexby says, brother, you probably told this story, but how the hell did you become boys with Buckley? Oh, Well, essentially, I reached out to him after his welterweight debut, I believe, when he beat Andre Fialho, the knockout. So I hit him up, and then we kind of just like, we kind of like had a similar vibe. So I like the follow up interviews. I've always interviewed like everybody I interview. It's always been like more than once. So I did a lot of follow ups with Joaquin, and we just kind of like, um, I feel like he's just been the most genuine person to some degree that I've ever interviewed. So like him being genuine, me being genuine, I think we just kind of like it just naturally became a bit of a friendship, bit of a loyalty. I think things really kicked off more after his Bilal Muhammad, not Bilal Muhammad, after his Vicente Luque win. He went on Ariel's show first, right? When he was still managed by Brian Butler at Sucker Punch. He won an Ariel show first, got in that argument with Ariel. Then I had Joaquin come on, my podcast right after that. And I was texting him being like, "Yo, bro, come on, man. Like you argued with Ariel. Like I hit you for that interview first. Like, can I get the first interview? If you don't even fuck with Ariel anymore, like, can I get the first interviews moving forward? You feel me?" And then he's like, "Oh, you want the first interviews? All right, bet you get the first interviews." And that's pretty much how it all kind of like really like manifested. I think at that point he's like, "Oh, this guy really does fuck with me," and I was like, "100%, homie." And then there was another time when I told him like, no matter what happens, you win, you lose, we're always gonna promote you. We're always gonna reach out for interviews. We're always gonna push your name. And then he's like, "We're never gonna lose, but that's real. I appreciate it." So I think from all those things tied up into one, you know, also the numbers we pull in, right? If I was just pulling in 50 likes, he's not probably gonna want to do interviews with me, but it's the questions, you know, it's all those things combined. So hope that answers your question. Okay. Yeah, we're like, I mean, the stream's kind of all over. I want to make sure we hit a few topics. And I'm going kind of fast just so that, I acknowledge the chat and speak on all these topics. Okay, Sexby says, "Yeah, interim is aight for me." Okay, perfect. Tony says, "NOC, that's what's up. Didn't know it was an OC." Yeah, Cub Swanson opened a gym over here. Probably a few cities down from me. Franklin says, "I think Ilya is definitely too small at 170 for Islam, but if there ever was knockout factor, I like it for that alone." Yeah, I think Ilya could knock out Islam. My only worry about the size isn't in the striking department or anything like that. My worry with the size is the grappling. Will Islam be like really strong in the grappling department? Because height wise, the matchup is kind of fine. Islam doesn't tower over Ilya necessarily. Have you been streaming that long, brother? I mean, yeah. I've been streaming a hot minute. For years, homie. Years. Yeah, Buckley is super cool. New money, new Mansa, and not proud. I hated on the new Mansa at the beginning. Shout out to Saxby, my man. I think I remember those times. Saxby, but shout out. We converted you. You're now a believer in Joaquin Buckley, the great Joaquin New Mansa Buckley. New money, new Mansa. New money, new Mansa. It got a ring to it, don't it? Saxby asking about diet or what? I missed the diet question. But someone says, Tony says 1 meal a day. Franklin says 1 meal a day and don't overeat works. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of ways. To lose weight. I don't know if anyone asked that question, but I'm just reading the chat. Now I support Buckley to the fullest support. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Shout out to Tony, my man Tony. We converted you, homie. Or sorry, Saxby. We converted you. Saxby also says Ilya has no chance against Islam in 170. I got you. But it's like, then why do we want the fight? Then why do we want the fight? If Ilya got no chance against Islam at 170. He does have a chance to knock him out. I don't know why this video isn't playing. It's actually pissing me off a little bit. I've been trying to pull up this Yeah, that's whack. That's whack. Okay, hang on, hang on. We're gonna do this wing C topic. We're gonna touch on the wing C topic. So you guys are asking me. I just typed in topic in the search bar. So you guys are asking me, did you talk about wing C yet? No, I didn't talk about wing C yet. But wing C, wing C. A lot of people hate him. How do I put this? Wing C and Cutis Millender ran it in the hotel lobby after Karate Combat 61 because Wing C interfered in Millender's match, which he lost. Okay, which he lost. But yeah, because Wing C interfered mid-match, acting as a blind man with a fucking blindfold and like one of those walking sticks. There's a video of it. Cutis Millender, former UFC fighter, he was visibly pissed off. He's like yelling and shit like that. He didn't get the joke. There's a lot to that as well. People are like, oh, I hate that he did that. I love that he did that. What's my take? Honestly, right away when I saw it, I don't like it. I don't like that Wing C does shit like that. I just think it's a bit corny. I don't know, but people don't understand me when I say shit like this, but it's like, it's just this is when I call MMA like a cornball ass sport, like we got cornballs. Like, okay, it's cool. Like, I don't think it's like weird as in like, oh, this is just disrespectful and like all that stuff. I just think it's just corny, like, and MMA is just known for just being corny and goofy, and that's what that was that Wing C did. Do I really care about him disgracing the fight and shit? Honestly, not really. That didn't cross my mind. I just thought it's goofy. And then like, I know it gets posted and stuff, and it's kind of fun that way. It gave me, 1,800 likes and 50,000, insights on a post, right? There was a scrap after this. So it's kind of chill in hindsight too. It's not the worst thing in the world, but, I guess that's just my reaction. I'm kind of indifferent. Like, I don't really care. Like, it's both for me. It's both. Like, it was annoying that he did that, but I mean, I don't know. That's just my thing. I guess it's just goofy in general. Let me put it like this. It's hard to kind of explain my way of viewing fighting. So let me just say it like this. I like fighters to be thugging, bro. I like fighters to be thugging, hard. Not these fucking clip farmers like walking in with a walking stick and like a blindfold. I don't really like that shit. I like the Nate Diaz effect. Why don't you get in a scrap in the fucking stands, bro? You feel me? Now, Wing C, he did both because like he did this and then he ran the fade with 200-pound Cutis Millender in the hotel lobby when Millender tried to slap him. And, he busted dude up. He alleges that he dropped him twice. People are saying, oh, you don't, stop reporting on this bullshit. I hate Wing C, blah, blah, blah. How do you know? Just saying all this shit. There's so many back and forth comments. People who absolutely hate Wing C. And then, I mean, people are going to think I love Wing C. I don't love Wing C. I just thought this was a funny ass story. By the end of it, when you tie the whole thing in together, Wing C interfering in the match, being a handicap, Millender being pissed. I'll show you the video of that. Then Millender finds him in the lobby and slaps him. Oh, keep in mind this. This all happened in front of Millender's girl. Millender's girl watched him take 3 L's in one night, bro. L in the pit at Karate Combat, right? L against Wing C after he started it. And then what's the third L? Well, look at the screen right here. Wing C pressing charges. Wing C straight called the cops on homie after he beat the fuck out of him. Here's Millender talking to the cops in front of his girl, all in front of his girl. So, I mean, Cutis Millender down tremendously bad. And I mean, I don't know how you couldn't just see this whole situation and think that Wing C won it. Wing C won this situation. Yeah, he's goofy. Yeah, he kind of a cornball. But I mean, shit, that goofy cornball, right? 125-pound goofy cornball. I mean, just dogged out Cutis Millender in front of his girl. I'm sorry, but I mean, it is what it is. And that shit is fucking hilarious to me. Especially because Cutis Millender has like made a career post UFC of like just fighting in all these regional shows. And it's like, bro, you're like pushing 40 and shit. And you've just been beating up like these fucking, like, I guarantee you, right? Like, cause I have been around in this, I've been doing this for a long time. Even when I was in community college, I went to like really low grade MMA promotions, right? And like Cutis Millender fought in one of them, and I was like, damn, this is the UFC's Cutis Millender? What are you doing here fighting this scrub? You know, but that's what Cutis Millender's been doing ever since he left the UFC. He's just been fighting scrubs. You know, so honestly, I to be honest with you, I kind of like didn't mind that happening to him, because Cutis Millender, if you know about him, you know, he just fights bums, bro. Like, you know what Strickland says about Hamza? Like, oh, Hamza just fights the biggest bitches in the gym. That's like what Cutis Millender gives me. You know, anytime he fights somebody good, he loses. He lost to that dude Bao or something. You guys know that dude Bao. The black dude, bald, super he said he had like herpes or something like that. Super woke and shit. But you know who I'm talking about. He lost to him as well. But it's like, that's the type of guys that Cutis Millender fights, so I could have cared less. But let's go through the footage now. Let's go through the footage. Let's play how it all started. Let's play how it all started. So here's Wing C interfering mid-match. Wait, hold up. Saxby says he's off to work. He always rewatches the stream at work. Have a good one and like the chat. Shout out to Saxby. Have a good one, homie. Thanks for your insight in the chat today. And Saxby, you know, oh, well, you watch the replay, so that's probably why you're not always watching live. But shout out, homie. You should tune in more live. Millender would never lose to that meme. Oh, he did, all right. He did. And I'm about to show you guys. People are asking me. Yeah, AJD says, LOL proof. I don't know what AJD, if he's asking me for proof or what, but I'm going to show you guys proof. Tony says, winged a goofy ass. I know. Bloodhound says he didn't drop shit, LOL. Oh, I'm going to show you he did drop shit. I'm going to show you he dropped shit. Bro, Cutis Millender's girl was about to leave him. You guys did not break down this footage like I did. We're going to watch it right now. Let's break down the shit, but let's see how it all started.
Oh. Hey, security, get him out. Tell security to get his ass out. Get him out. I don't care what he's saying. Get out. He's going.
Wait, and this better not become no fucking black and white thing. I don't want to hear nothing about no black and white thing with these guys, because I can already see it now. I can already see it fucking now. Watch me scroll through my comments on everybody hating that I laughed at Cutis Millender getting fucking his ass beat by Wing C, and watch me click on all those and it's all brothers. You know, I don't know why it always has to be made out to be this black and white thing. Or even if you don't like Wing C, it's like, bro, he beat this dude's ass, and like, who gives a fuck if you don't like Wing C? Like, he beat this dude's ass in front of his girl.
Heavy, no, Wing C. Get him out.
Okay, so you see this, right? And for the record, I do just want to say this. For those that don't know, you know, okay, Wing C a goofy, whatever. I mean, I'm whatever. But Cutis Millender's just as big of a goofy, boys. Cutis Millender's a goofy as well. I don't expect you guys to really know that, because, like, you know, Cutis Millender is like 2014. But, like, you know, just take my word for it. Okay, let's watch this, though. Here's Millender talking to the cops after getting, you know, his ass dropped by Wing C. Now, pay close attention, because I'm about to show you guys proof in this footage that a Wing C beat this dude's ass. Everyone's like, how do you know? Why you believe in him? Well, let's play it. Let me show you why I believe his ass.
Bro, are you kidding me? Twice. That's embarrassing. Stop. Yeah. You got dropped by a freaking flyweight.
He said, you got dropped twice. That's embarrassing. You got dropped by a freaking flyweight. Let's hear what Cutis Millender says. He goes, let's do it again. He doesn't say, no, you didn't drop me. He says, let's do it again. Let's watch it.
Bro, walk. Walk. Start walking, buddy.
Wipes the blood off his nose. Millender wipes the blood off his nose here. standing there. He got one slipper off his feet. He got his straight shoes off.
I know, he just got slapped.
Call the police.
Please.
You're gonna call the police guy. Relax.
Fuck on my business.
Yeah, you still lost, dumbass. Walk. Fucking bitch.
The way he's talking to this dude, walk, fucking bitch, and Cutis Millender just takes it. It's because Cutis Millender just got fucking dropped. Cutis Millender just got dropped. That's why he's taking all this. He called him a fucking bitch. Walk. Cutis Millender got glossed over eyes, wiping blood off his nose, shoes off, and you guys don't think he just ran the fade with fucking Wing C. Like, you guys really don't think he just ran the fade with Wing C. Where's the video of him dropping him? I don't need the fucking video. There's blood all over the floor. Wing C's not bleeding. This dude wiped blood off his nose. There's blood on the floor. Slippers are off his damn feet. Homie got the shoes knocked off him. Homie got knocked out his shoes by fucking Wing C. And in front of his girl at that.
Where's my other shoe?
Take your shit.
Imagine getting your ass beat by a guy like this. Look at these tattoos on him. Where's the blood on this dude? He got the eyes of fury. This is Millender's girl in the back. Look at her on Wing C's side right here. This is like you're in Wing C's corner. She behind Wing C's back. Okay? Millender's going to wave her over to him like 7 different times. She finally cruises over eventually. But in my opinion, she was about to go home with Wing C. I can't prove that. But I mean, you guys tell me. Look, she's behind Wing C. She's not with him. She's all the way across the room from him. Right? But Millender getting his ass beat and getting called a fucking bitch by this dude in front of his girl is crazy work. And you guys don't think he did shit to Millender.
Bitch. Still got dropped and it didn't even matter.
Bitch, you still got dropped and it didn't even matter. Now watch Millender wave over his girl.
Go fucking walk. You fucking
He's looking at his girl right now, waving her over. And Wing C's like, fucking walk.
toddler. Go walk. Keep walking. Keep walking. Go. You really assaulted another dude over the fact that you lost? I lost too, brother. The only person
Cheeks fully out.
you got to blame is yourself.
People saying he probably clapped cheeks. He's not mad. Oh, he's definitely mad, and he definitely did not clap cheeks. She probably couldn't have been more turned off by this dude. 3 L's in one night. I just showed you the guy that beat his ass. Wing C.
That's crazy. Jesus. Crazy. Winksy just got assaulted. But I still gained aura, baby. Am I bleeding? Who's bleeding? Is it me that's bleeding? Wait. So bro came up behind me, sucker punched me. Honestly, I wanted to apologize to him because I know he's probably feeling some hard feelings. But this is kind of crazy. Bro, our job is to get attention. If you're at least gonna do some shit like that, put it on camera. Come on now. Yo, y'all see me drop that shit? I actually got power in my hands. Crazy. I dropped it and I'm a flyweight. Take that, take that, take that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Can we pull the security footage on that too? Don't try Wing C, baby. I'll knock you out even if you're a fucking 180 pounder, bro. Cut that dude up. Say fuck you.
Bro, try that.
Look at all this. Look, I cut up his one dude and I knocked the other dude out, bro. Can't try Wing C in these streets, brother. I'm the OG street fighter.
Bro, are you kidding me?
Twice. That's
Dude.
embarrassing.
So I'm just going to play this video one more time after all the commentary I did. Let's just run it through one more time. You know, watch all of it. You can hear Cutis Millender say, right? You can hear Cutis Millender say, let's do it again. You can see him wipe the blood off his nose. You know, you can see it all. Let's just replay this beginning scenario one more time.
Stop.
Yeah. You got dropped by a freaking flyweight.
Go again.
Bro.
Walk. Walk. Start walking, buddy. LOL.
Bro. I know, he just got slapped.
Call the police.
Please.
You're gonna call the police guy. Relax. Fuck on my business.
Yeah, you still lost, dumbass.
Hey, Sean.
Walk. Fucking bitch.
Where's my other shoe?
Take your shit.
Relax, guys.
Bitch.
His girl standing all the way across the room is actually crazy, though. That's actually kind of crazy.
Still got dropped and it didn't even matter. Go fucking walk. You fucking toddler. Go walk.
Waving over his girl. I mean, this shit is just sad. This shit is just sad. Just sad. Just sad. Cutis Millender, L of a lifetime. L of a fucking lifetime. 3 L's one night. 3 L's one night. Former UFC fighter Cutis Millender dropped by Wing C in a hotel lobby after sneaking up and punching him from behind. It's just like, oh man, Cutis Millender. And this dude's from OC. You know, this is OC right here. This dude's from OC. He's from my neck of the woods. Homie, I hereby, we don't claim you. Talking about, you know, Mexico doesn't claim Benavidez. You know, the blacks don't claim fucking Demetrius and Aljamain Sterling. Shit, in OC, we do not claim this fucking guy. OC does not claim Cutis Millender. All right? You ain't no OC boy to me. All right? Once more, we do not claim this guy. All right? Anyone, we don't claim him. He is hereby shadow banned from being claimed by OC. Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a woman's man, no time to talk. Shout out Jew. Let that be Wing C's new walkout song. I don't know the name of that song, but I think Wing C needs to walk out to that, or at least put it on his next reel. He needs an edit with that song after this one. You know, as soon as he say, like, walk, buddy, he needs to drop that little clip. Wasn't Wing C training with Mighty Mouse for a few? Maybe something actually stuck. Yeah, and he's from Street Beefs and shit like that, Scrapyard. So, you know, Wing C's down to run it, bro. I don't know why people are, like, so confused about this. Anyone want to drop something in the chat about, like, why people are so, like, why are people confused about this? Or, like, I don't know. Okay, so anyway, David Benavidez, you know, he beat down Zurdo last night, and I told you guys he was going to beat down Zurdo. You know, I told you he was. Official scorecards. Oh, wait. Why the fuck did I put official scorecards? Bro, I must have been tired as fuck. Whose scorecards even are these? Oh my gosh, what a mistake on my behalf. Wait, I don't even know these scorecards. I must have been so fucking exhausted. Go figure. Go figure. This is what happens when you wake up at 4 a.m. to cover fights, and then you cover all, you know, do more all day. Anyway, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I'm tripping out about that. But Benavidez stopped Zurdo in the 6th round. I called a 7th round stoppage. He stopped him in the 6th. And here's the finish. Now, people are saying Benavidez elbowed Zurdo, and he did elbow Zurdo. You can see it. You know, you can see it. He elbowed Zurdo, and we got a slow motion replay. But, I mean, Benavidez firing off machine gun combos, dropping Zurdo in the 4th. Zurdo survives 2 more rounds, gets stopped in the 6th, couldn't continue. Zurdo was fucked. After the gym streets here, we run this. Shout out to Perfecto. Good to hear you got a workout today, homie. That's good shit. But yeah, Benavidez. Okay, so peep this. Peep this. All right. You can see it. You can see the elbow.
That was an elbow.
Look. Look. Hold up.
Look at the elbow. That's dirty, bro. That was an elbow. Look. Look at the elbow. Bam, bro. That's an elbow.
Yeah, so
Look at the elbow. That's dirty, bro. That was an elbow. Look.
right there. That's the elbow right there. So call it dirty if you want to. I don't really think it's dirty. I think Zurdo is crashing in on David, and you got to get your hand back, bro. You got to get your hand back. AI2A, suck my dick, homie. I'm talking to chat. I'm just not talking to your dumbass because you always got nothing to say. So, I mean, you know. AI2A, pipe down, you know. No one worried about you, per usual. I think it's fine. I think it's a fight game. I think Zurdo is crashing in, and you know, there's just a little bit of that you know, that gamesmanship, if you will. You know, you can get away with it. Shit, get away with it. But Benavidez spoke about Jai Opetaia. Everyone wants to know, you know, Jai Opetaia, David Benavidez. So let's hear what Benavidez had to say about potentially running it with Opetaia.
We've got a lot of fighters that have crossed another street into the Zuffa world, and in particular, Jai Opetaia. How important is it for you to get a chance to fight him without all the red tape in the way?
I mean, I think that's the biggest fight in the world, especially at this weight division, you know, and that's definitely a fight I want. Like I said, I'm not scared of nobody. This is Monstro's world. And if he wants to get that fight, we get that fight. I don't know why he went to Zuffa. We could have made this fight right after this one, you know, but now I don't know if he got stripped by the IBF or what it is. You know, I'm not going to go over there and fight for a Zuffa title. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that would be a great fight to make in the future. And, I mean, I respect Jai Opetaia a lot. He's a great fighter. And I think he has to come back over here to make these fights happen because, you know, we can't make no fights in Zuffa.
So that's what I wanted to secondarily ask was that, do you feel like fighters are losing their power by going over to Zuffa?
I think that, I mean, yeah, I think they definitely are losing the power. I mean, it's just a lot of politics in that. You know, I think Dana White has showed that he doesn't want to do fights with PBC, DAZN. And I don't want to even feel like, I don't want to sound like I'm disrespecting him, but that's just what it looks like from the outside. If we could come to an agreement and make a big fight, let's do it.
We've got a lot of fighters that...
So, you know, if they can come to an agreement, if they can make the fight with Zuffa Boxing, you know, let's do it. David Benavidez is not scared of Jai Opetaia. And all these people, all you guys, like, bro, you guys piss me off, honestly. And all the Jai Opetaia glazers, it's fine. It's totally fine, but I can't wait. Honestly, I cannot wait. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. David Benavidez is like a once-in-a-generation type fighter. This dude does not come around very often. You know, the type of skills David Benavidez got on him, the heart that he got on him, the will to win. You don't see this shit, bro. David Benavidez is never going to have a lackadaisical performance like Ryan did against Rolly, right where he just kind of lost. He didn't have it in him that night. In my opinion, David Benavidez a cut above, you know, Ryan Garcia. Not to say Ryan's the best that boxing has right now, but he's one of those elite fighters in boxing. You know, David Benavidez, I don't want to be so disrespectful, but it's like Opetaia ain't even half the fighter. You know, David Benavidez is. And I can't wait for David Benavidez to prove it. And let's see Dana put his boy up against him then. But there's one caveat, you know. Apparently Zuffa blocked by Saudi money. You know, Turkey Al-Sheikh. David Benavidez, right? He already went to Saudi to fight, forget his fucking name. His last bout. Yard or something? He already went to Saudi for that one. He wants to fight in the US. You know, he's the name. He's the pay-per-view draw. So, you know, Opetaia, Saudi money. Here's what he says about it. Also, Bivol, right? Bivol's in the mix too. Basically getting asked, like, you know, will you, like, you know, you want to fight Bivol, you want to fight Opetaia. They're backed by Saudi money. Will it be in the US? Will it be in Saudi? Where do you want it to be? So here's what he's speaking on right now.
When it comes to Dimitri Bivol, his last couple of fights, they've been overseas in Riyadh. How do you think that fight realistically can actually be made? Is that a fight where you would have to travel to Saudi again, fight with Turkey, or do you think it can actually happen in the United States after a fight like this?
I think it'd be better in the United States only because I sell more than him over there. You know, the whole house is packed tonight. That's something that I worked really, really hard to do. You know, it's not easy to pack out the T-Mobile Arena, and we did that not only once, we did it twice. We did it once with David Merrill, and then we did it twice again tonight. So I got the ball in my hands. You know what I mean? I'm the one that's filling out these stadiums, or the stadiums. I'm the one that's fighting pay-per-view. Jai Opetaia has never fought pay-per-view. He's never filled out an arena like this. His last fight was in the Zuffa place. You know what I mean? So
The Zuffa place. We don't even fucking know. What, the Apex? Last fight was in the UFC Apex. But Benavidez, I mean, he's speaking more so about Bivol here, but he's speaking about them both because they're both backed by Saudi money, right? And he's just saying, like, the only way these fights might even be able to happen is with Saudi money. Jai Opetaia definitely can't even sell pay-per-views. Like, what's he talking about?
And I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. It's just those are the facts. So, I mean, if they want me to go over there to Saudi Arabia, why? You know what I mean? They got to pay me some good money to make it over there. Or they could come here. We could come to the table right here. You know what I mean?
And going to Saudi, too, is like catering to these dudes because they can't sell. So that's why you got to rely on Saudi because these dudes, or not Bivol. Bivol can sell. But if we're talking about the Opetaia fight, you know, Opetaia can't sell. It would be a one-sided promotion. So you need the fucking Saudi money. It's like you're doing him a favor by doing that. So you want me to do you that favor? Pay me a fuck ton of money to fight your boy who can't sell to the point where we got to go fight in Saudi.
But I don't know. I mean, I've worked really, really hard. And, you know, everything that I got now.
On top of him being fucking locked in an exclusive contract with Zuffa.
You know, I deserved and I worked hard for it. So, you know, if they want to come to the table over here, we could do it. Let's get it.
When it comes to Dimitri Bivol,
come to the U.S., boys. Tony says Benavidez made history getting titles in those 3 weight divisions, right? Yeah, he's the first to ever do it at 68, 75, and 200, I believe. He's the first to ever do it. Does boxing make money without being funded by billionaires? Yeah, it does. It does, Unbroken. Not Dana White's boxing, though, but real boxing does. How funny is that? David Benavidez wasn't funded by a billionaire. You know, this fight right here wasn't funded by a billionaire. The only difference in boxing, this is the thing everyone complains about with boxing. This is the big difference, is that all the money goes to the promoters and the fighter, and it doesn't go back into the sport. You know? And when you say it doesn't go back into the sport, what do you mean? I mean, fighter healthcare and things of this nature. There TV rights deals, right? Things like that. Production, they don't invest in that stuff necessarily. And that's going to be the stream, I believe. That'll be the stream. How much he make for that fight? I don't know how much Benavidez got for this fight. Pay-per-view kind of dead too, so it's tough. It's tough. But gate, you know, merchandise sales, Benavidez gets a cut of all of it. So, yeah, that'll be the stream though, boys. That'll be the stream. Anything else to really see? Max still pays for boxing rights. What does that mean? At least 10 milli. Yeah, at least 10 milli, I would say. Also, I do just want to say once again, it's like the press conference of boxing compared to MMA is just so much better. Okay, yeah. I was just seeing if there's anything to doom scroll, and there's not. See, like Alex B. Huna goes, can this goober go away already? But it's like, this is what I don't get. It's like, why, like, well, first of all, if he's a goober, then what are you? But second, then what are you? But aside from that, it's like, okay, he's a goober. Like, who cares? Like, can you just react to the fucking story? Like, he's still 125, dropping 200 pounder. You know, can this goober go away already? He kind of annoys me, but this is MMA. You know, MMA is like this. It's not this thuggin' sport. This is how MMA is trending. You know that reel where it's like, to be an MMA fighter, you got to be an influencer and a TikTok dancer. These days, you do. It's kind of sad, but that's MMA. That's the fan base. Okay, yeah. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. Tux says, no, don't leave. Tux, I gotta go, homie. I gotta go. There ain't no option. I gotta go. Perry, you the best. Thank you, Tux. Much appreciated. Cinemax / HBO used to pay for airing boxing. Yeah. But, you know, getting a TV rights deal, in part, is investing into the sport, because you got to have, like, you know, legal and PR that you got to, like, employ, right, as a centralized system to go out and get these deals for you, right? It's not Dana who's reaching out to fucking Paramount Plus. It's the team that Dana employs. That's reinvesting into the sport. So that's what boxing doesn't do. You know, the promoters and the fighters, they collect their money after the fights, and they wash their hands with it. They don't put any money back into the sport. You know, there's no centralized system. That's what Zuffa Boxing's trying to do. Because if you consider it, right, Oscar De La Hoya, Dazin, right, and maybe one other promoter, they promoted this David Benavidez fight, right? But then, you know, another fight will be promoted by Top Rank and Bob Arum and Matchroom Boxing. So who should take their money, right, and put it all into the central side of boxing, right? Should Bob Arum do it? Because if Bob Arum does this and secures a TV rights deal, right, that'll be for his little promotion. But then, you know, it just complicates things further. So it's this big mess that I haven't even really factored in. But like, Bob Arum gets an HBO deal, right? Can now Golden Boy come on and fight on this HBO deal? You know, it gets very contractually obligated when you start factoring these things in. And it's like all the wild, wild west, right? All these different sanctioning bodies, all these different promotions. I don't know, man. It gets confusing after a while. It does get confusing. So I don't know how you centralize all of it and have all these bosses start working together under one umbrella. I don't know if you can even do it. But I don't know. Maybe that's what makes boxing great. Maybe that's what makes boxing great, is the fact that you can't do stuff like that. But, you know, the UFC will sell you a story that's why boxing isn't good. So I don't know. We got to keep paying attention and keep figuring out that topic, because that's a really complicated one. So how do you fix boxing then? Maybe you don't need to fix it. What's wrong with it as it stands? I mean, you could do more things like the collective fighter healthcare. But the reason why there's no collective fighter healthcare is because of all these different promotions. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Like, Oscar can do collective fighter healthcare for his fighters, but then it's still going to be on Eddie Hearn to do it for his fighters and Bob Arum to do it for his fighters, right? So I don't really think there's anything wrong with boxing. I think that maybe they could fix the fighter healthcare. That's the biggest issue. Did you hear Canelo left the fight before Benavidez got on the mic? Because he feared Benavidez was going to call him out. Yeah, he's like, oh, I only came for Munguia. It's like, bro, suck my dick. Like, take longer and take 99 breaks over going back 1 year later and saying you missed it. Goddamn AJD. Canelo probably had to go wash his hair. All right, boys, I'm a dip. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow, regular timing. And thank you all for watching. Peace out, AJD, Unbroken, Tony, Tux, Jew, Franklin, Perfecto, AI2A's bitch ass, Bloodhound, Tony Sal, if you're in here, Saxby, MLE, Max Energy, Perfecto again, Kevin from Chicago. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Kevin from Chicago, for sending me sparkles. Much appreciated. Kind of just missed that earlier. Soda Pop, shout out, homie. Tribal, shout out, homie. All right, boys. Peace out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys all tomorrow.